Hi, this is Most Jacobs for DeBarra Spoken Word, and I am talking to Eimear Barry Tierney, who is fortunately very lucky. She's now a member of our team, and she came up with the idea for our next event on the 11th of March 2025, which happens to be right in the middle of Irish Week, Snachtana Gaeilge. That's the only thing I'm going to pronounce in Irish, because I would love Eimear to talk about, to just say the name, and because she does that so much better, and to talk about the idea behind our next event. Over to you, Eimear.
Okay. Well, I'm piggybacking on somebody else's idea. So I've been attending, it's a Scóraíocht, and I'll talk about what that means in a minute. But I have to say that I absolutely thieved that idea from Karen Moynihan in Skull. She and Julia Zager have been running a Scóraíocht. It's known as Scóraíocht and Company, and it happens in Dalton's pub in Skull usually around either the second last or the last Thursday of every month at 8:30 in Dalton's. It's a fantastic night, and they've had like a really prestigious group of musicians and artists and poets and writers, and they've like there's a really broad spectrum of what you could see there. I've seen people do um PowerPoint presentations of stained glass. I've seen people, act out, half-written plays. Sally Smart once did an amazing excerpt from one of the plays she was writing. It's a real mishmash of different art forms all in one place. It's very informal. They usually have Bridie and John are fantastic hosts, and they have the fire lighting, and Julia and Karen then sort of MC it. They pass the baton around the different performers. And I started attending in 2018, but I know it's been running for over 9 years and it's been really successful. And they break for the summer, which is very traditional because the Scríocht and Céilíocht would be kind of the same thing. So people in modern times associate Céilís with Irish set dancing, but traditionally a Céilí house was a house, people used to visit neighbours and it happened during the kind of dark winter months before TV and when radios and things were scarce in houses in Ireland. It was how people kind of got through those long winters, particularly in rural Ireland, and neighbours would all convene in one house and they would sing and dance and they tell ancient poems and stories and legends to each other. And it was a huge tradition, and that would be known as a Céilí or a Scóraíocht, and the Scoriachter would be the visitor who was coming to perform that. So that's the origins of it. And then in more recent years, I know when I was younger, we had Ceoltas and things that are quite similar in our pub in Bantry. But when we used to be driving up and down to Cork, particularly, I think it was on a Sunday evening, my mum used to always have this radio show. I don't know if it was C103, I think it might have been, or else Radio na Gaeltachta. Somebody will correct me on this, but it was a man used to go around to different pubs and parish halls and kitchens in rural Ireland, and he would broadcast the Scríocht, and you could listen to it, and he'd chat to each person and hear their background. I think my uncle Desmond from Lachine was on it at one point. Actually, he sang some old Shannon song, and it was just a big tradition to listen to it. But I know that there still exists a radio program. It's one of RT's most popular radio programs, and it's called Céilí House. I think it's on Saturday evenings, and it's still massively popular. And the presenter still goes from pub to pub and parish hall around Ireland. Um, and it's all Irish traditional music and songs and things, and they broadcast from different locations. So it moved to radio in recent years, but I think that people are kind of falling back into it again. It's a it's kind of there's nobody in charge of the Scríocht. It's very, very, very informal. It's a kind of a congregation of people who are there to entertain each other and to appreciate each other. And oh, sorry
Do you,
about the dog in the background.
oh, that's
I'll
the
put
dog.
it.
The dog,
That is
please.
the dog is also a big. He's just making himself known. Come on, Rocky. But yes,
do you have a personal memory of something you did at one of those Scóraíochts when you were younger?
something I would have done. Well, it would have
Or
been
seen?
well,
Or
in our pub in particular in Bantry was very, very popular for kind of sessions, and we would have had some. Like, I remember singing with Francis Black at one of them when I was 11. Yeah, it was a bit of a flex. Um, during the
Wow.
Mussel Festival. But yeah, I suppose
What?
that's how I get, obviously people know I love to sing and I write songs, and that's where it all started. I was at a session in Johnny Barry's pub in Glengariff when I was about 11 years old, and my
What was
father
the
had
name
met
of
me.
your own pub? Because your parents had a pub.
Oh, the clinic. Yeah, my mum and my aunt ran. It was not my parents, and my dad wouldn't. Well, he was very involved in drinking in the pub, but he didn't work there very often. Um, But my aunt Jo from it was originally her pub, and then my mum bought into it, and they ran it together, two women, and it was very popular. It was kind of an institution, and people still talk about it a lot.
The clinic?
But the clinic, yeah,
Oh,
because it started out as that when my aunt had it by herself, it was a hardware store, um, and she had the early opening license, so people could call in there on a Monday morning after the weekend and have a cure before they went to
ah,
work. So it
and
got
recover.
nicknamed, it was Mac Sweeney's Hardware, and then it got nicknamed the clinic. And then when they had the grand reopening, when my mum bought into it, it was all gutted, and they kind of kept a lot of the original features. It had rally signs, and it had an old rally bike on the wall and old cobbler things. They kept a lot of the hardware, and there was a big old stone, everything was stone inside there, and flag floors and open fire.
Oh,
So it was a very traditional, it was beautiful. It was a really traditional pub, and they ran it really well together. My aunt was fantastic. She was a very warm and welcoming host, and my mum was a very good businesswoman. So they had a love. It was a really nice balance between the two of them. So my mum was kind of the gatekeeper, and she was the tough one, and then my aunt was very soft, and she absolutely loved to sing song and initiate. Anytime she had a night off, I'd say she nearly initiated one. So we would have called them sing songs, but we had them at least once a week. And as I say, I kind of started listening to songs that were being sung. I used to sit on the stairs when I was really small, and I used to listen to them all singing. And they had songbooks that they used to pass around upstairs, like loads of them. We had stacks of songbooks. And I think I probably knew every Irish traditional song by the time I was 10 because I was just
wow.
constantly learning them and singing them upstairs. And then I went to Johnny Barry's pub, and there was a sing song going on there. And my dad got me to sing a song, and that was the start of it then. Then when I came back, he told me to sing the same song for my mother because I had never sang for anyone before. And then every time that there was something happening, they'd let me come downstairs and do a few songs. And
Wow.
I think that started when I was about 11, and it's ever since that's massively influenced me. And I love, and when people come to our house now, that's my favorite thing to do. I mean, and we throw Sean throws the guitar in the boot all the time, no matter where we go. And you know that, Moles, I love a session. So, and that's probably what drew me to 49 North Street. And I think it's lovely. It's like Sean doesn't drink, so it's a lovely outlet for people,
Sean's your husband.
he's my husband, and he doesn't drink, and he finds it hard sometimes. A lot of socializing in Ireland is kind of built around drinking, and it's lovely then not to have his guitar is his pint, like he holds his
Okay.
guitar, and he says that that's his kind of emotional crutch, and it's a
It's
very
a
healthy
very
one.
benign addiction, I think, the guitar,
Yeah,
the music.
yeah.
To bring it back to the Barras on the 11th of March, the Barras is a pub, so people can drink or not drink, but they can come. It starts at 8:30, and let's say everyone is invited. I mean, you can be,
Everyone,
you
absolutely
don't have to be
everyone is.
Irish, or you don't have to speak Irish, although you
No,
could
no.
learn some
We said
Irish.
in the ad, Cúpla Focal is fáilte. So a couple of words of Irish. If you have them, they're welcome. And it would be really special if someone could, maybe perform something as Gaeilge if they are an Irish speaker. That would be great. And maybe that would give other people, make some people only have a couple of words and only they mightn't speak Irish, but they'll remember a song from their childhood. And if they want to give it a go, that would be absolutely super. But there's absolutely no rules whatsoever when it comes to the script. It's just really about sharing a love of music and songs and stories, and it's really about the group and about the feeling around the group. And there's no pressure. It's not like you don't have to stand up on a stage and sing. It's very much sitting down, no pressure, sharing piece, as opposed to, being under the spotlight, as that can be very intimidating. So I think it's a lovely if for anyone who would like to try out singing a song by themselves and they haven't done it before, it's definitely a nice first step. And I know that Karen and Julia, they've had people coming for the last couple of years who might have, they started out very shy, and now that it's one of their favorite dates in the diary. So it's really about making everyone feel welcome and comfortable. And I was saying to you, like, I think Seachtain na Gaeilge obviously is about celebrating the Irish language, but it's also about Irish culture. And a big part of our culture is welcoming people and making them feel comfortable, and, meeting them with an open mind and hearing them and appreciating them. And I think, just in the current climate, it's really important that we reaffirm that's part of our culture.
Yeah, that's great.
Because we've been welcomed as well by so many different countries. So we've managed. We were just saying a while ago about Liverpool and how many Irish we've been invited into so many different countries, that it's lovely that we can extend that invite to people from so we'd love as many people as possible. And even if somebody would sing something in their own language, not necessarily English or Irish, that would be also lovely. It's a celebration of culture.
Okay, that sounds marvelous. Everyone welcome 11th of March in DeBarra's Folk Club. We're at the back as DeBarra spoken word once a month, and this is our thing for the 11th of March. And that's in Clonakilty. It's just in case I forgot to mention that. 55 Pier Street, Clonakilty, West Cork, Ireland. Should you be in Australia and watch this in years time. Okay, thank you very much, Eimear, and
thank you so much
to seeing you on the 11th of March.